Going fine.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Love Talk Radio.
Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Postgame, Tuesday, April 28th, 2015 at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. It is great for me to be back on Blog Talk Radio. Got any opinions on Detroit sports? Call in at 646-478-4837. Text message 231-429-3668. Make sure you give me your name, city, and state as you call in, or text message, and keep all your content clean as well, please and thank you. I have a co-host with me tonight on the show, and his name is Edward Lawrence Smith. He is a true and loyal follower of me, and a true and loyal fan of Jeff Moss's Detroit Sports Rag. How you doing this evening, Ed?
I'm doing fine, Ted. I fear I'm not the only one that appears jittery tonight. My goodness.
I know this is your first time. Welcome aboard. For all you Twitter followers out there, you can follow Edward Lawrence Smith on Twitter at EdSmith313. That stands for Detroit, of course. We're going to talk about a lot about the Red Wings, and we're going to fit in some Tigers and Twins as well, and the Kurt Gibson Parkinson's disease stuff. We'll try to squeeze that in. First off, the Red Wings failed to clinch the series in Game 6, losing badly 5-2. Tampa Bay came out storming with a 3-0 lead. They led 2-0 after one, then 3-0. The Wings stormed back with a couple of goals. One of them in the second period, and the other in the third. But the Lightning scored an insurance goal to put the dagger in the heart, and then scored the empty netter. It's just one of those things, Edward, where the Red Wings have failed to clinch a playoff series at home for the fourth time since the 2009 Western Conference semifinals. We know they're in the Eastern Conference now. I think the Red Wings choked it away, especially with their lack of defense. Mrazek had a rough game, but that's not all his fault.
No, it's not, exactly, because as you've seen so far in this series, Peter Mrazek, in my opinion, he's the reason why we're even in a position to clinch the series to begin with. He's stolen a couple of games, especially Game 1, had a pair of shutouts, and he was doing pretty darn good in Game 4 when his defense failed him and allowed Tampa to storm back and take that game. And I'm just telling you right now, this has been a problem, I guess you could say, since the second half, or as maybe before that, where, it was not one thing or another. We finally got the goaltending issue resolved. As much as a big Jimmy Power fan I am, I'm very glad that they went with Mrazek. But the defense, letting leaks in, letting guys break away on extremely easy scoring chances, like the one in Game 6 where Mrazek had to make a miraculous save with a stick at point-blank range. Stuff like that is why you're in a Game 7 right now instead of looking forward to the next series against presumably Montreal, I believe. So you could have gone – you basically put yourself in this situation, and Barry Melrose said it perfectly on ESPN, I believe it was after the Game 4 loss, where if Detroit loses this series, they only have themselves to blame, and they can especially look at that Game 4 lead because you were about 5 minutes or so away, third period, in the lead. You had a chance to score 3-1, especially when you come in as perennial underdogs, where practically almost everybody in the media were picking the Lightning to win this one easy. I remember Keith Over. Hey, the Lightning's going to move on. It's going to be fast. Well, here we are. We're in Game 7, even though it could have been over in 5. But the thing is, it should have been the Wings doing it and not the other way around. But, not cashing in, just for some reason not going in for the kill and leaving your goalie on an island by himself. Now you're in this situation where it's or die, and it's on the road, and you're going to be doing it without one of your guys due to suspension.
I absolutely have to agree with you, Ed. That series should have been clinched in 5 games, not 7 or 6. And the Wings defense is a major concern, a bit bigger than the goalie controversy that the Wings have had at some points of the season, and which already got over with. Jimmy Coward, I like to call him, is now the backup, and Peter Mrazek is the number 1 goaltender.
Which is the right call, because in postseason play, when specifically NHL postseason play, you need goaltending. If you have any chance, any shot of going to winning the Stanley Cup, you're going to need great goaltending. Just like you need great pitching to win a World Series or great defense to win a Super Bowl. You're going to need great goaltending if you have a shot at winning a cup.
That is correct. Great pitching, especially from the bullpen. Yeah. Still talk.
We're gonna get to that in a little bit.
Yep, still talking hockey. The Red Wings have now failed 4 times to clinch a playoff series at home since the 2009 Western Conference semifinals. When they eliminated the Ducks in 7 games at Joe Louis Arena, the Anaheim Ducks. But since then, in the same year, they lost to the Penguins in 7 games in the Stanley Cup final, and that was that set them in a major tailspin where they were like too nervous and too distracted to put a playoff series away on their own home ice. I mean. What exactly is in Babcock's head, or is in the team's head?
I don't know. I have no explanation whatsoever, especially when you have veterans like, say, for instance, Zetterberg and Datsuk, leading the helm, no pun intended, and for some reason, for the past, since 2009, chance after chance, you've had a chance to clinch it out on your home ice, and you would figure, with the history that you've had in the Joe, it would be somewhat a bit intimidating for an opposing team. Like, oh God, we may get our comeuppance tonight, boys. But no, you find a way to either blow it, choke it, or just absolutely get curb stomped like you did in Game 6. So I don't know. It's one thing I don't know if it's something that Babcock's not employing, or the players are just not connecting, gelling right. I don't know why, but it's frustrating, and it leads to a point where how many times are we going to have these early round exits? I mean, we went through this stretch a little bit between 98 and 02, especially in 01 against the Kings. I've never been so frustrated with this stretch as I have before. I can excuse 2010 a little bit because you're coming off of 2 straight finals appearances. It could be a little draining. I get that. 2011, you had to battle all the way back from that 3-0 deficit against San Jose, just to get to Game 7. You almost pulled out. Okay, I get that. But 2012 on, come on, what's the problem here? Especially 2013, where not 2013, yes, 2013, you were 3-1 on the Blackhawks, and even after you lost Game 5, you were into Game 6 on your home ice,
exactly,
leaving the third period, and then you blew it, and then, of course, you lost in overtime in Game 7. Forget the fact, it shouldn't have even gone to that Game 7 if you just take care of business in that Game 6. And last year, you just get absolutely dismantled by the Bruins, and it was completely tough to watch. And it should have been a 4-game sweep, not a 5-game series. And now this year, you're stuck with, like I said, do or die in Game 7 on the road. Anything can happen. Any break can go against you. Any puck can go against you. Any call can go against you. And you really put yourself in this position. Not one of the refs, none of that. So I can't explain it. That's the best I can possibly do.
Yeah, that's true. That has been the entire summary of the Red Wings' failures to reach a conference final series since 2009, and that's just there are just no excuses for that. Yeah, and back to the 4 times they failed to clinch a playoff series on their own home ice. They again, like we mentioned before, They lost to the Penguins in the 09 Cup final. They lost to the Phoenix Coyotes, went up 3-2 at home in 2010. Now the Arizona Coyotes. Then in 2013. Yeah, I know. Then in 2013, when the Wings were up 3-1 and then 3-2, they had a chance to clinch that conference semifinal series on their home ice. They just fell apart in the third period. That I was going to mention, they were one of the worst third period teams in the league, like in the last 2 to 3 years. And they lost 4-3.
Right, and the infuriating thing does that 2013 thing. That was the eventual Stanley Cup champion. So the Red Wings, they could have altered a little bit of of their own hockey history and lore if they just wasn't taking care of business against Blackhawks. So
and fans should spare us but the Red Wings took the Blackhawks to 7 games. That's what matters. Are you?
No, it doesn't. Get out of your mind.
Yeah, I know that those fans are out of their minds. Yeah.
We are. This is sad, especially of this for this fan base of this specific team. In terms of in the NHL for American teams, we are the gold standard. I equate us to the Yankees in terms to the American teams. I can't go the whole league because Montreal has more customers, so I gotta go at least the American teams. And the Red Wings, they are the gold standard. They are what you strive to be. And for this fan base, we should be at a point where Yankees fans are. Every year without a cup, it's a failure. Pure and simple. Especially where you have your veterans. You have, in my opinion, a good coach in Babcock, but for some reason he's lost control or whatever. And now you have a gift in Mrazek, and now you're squandering that. I don't know what it is, but the fans, they should not be pleased or happy or content with this, especially with this playoff streak. At this point, I'm at the point where forget about the playoff streak. I don't mind missing a year or two.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Better for the next year and make another cup run.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with missing the playoffs for a year or two. Yet the fans and Babcock individually keep coddling the Red Wings players just because some of them are young.
Get out of your mind.
Man, I mean, come on, what a bunch of sheep. That can't happen. We have to win the cup.
It was because of some of those. Exactly, and believe it or not, it was because of some of those young players, like say Gustav Nyquist, that you were in a position a couple of years back to eliminate the eventual Cup champions, and what you blew it. So I don't care about the youth thing. I don't care about this and that. No, I'm at a point now. We should be at a point now where it's cut bust. Same thing I'm at with the Tigers. The amount of money you put in, the talent you brought in, it should be world title or bust.
Nyquist is my favorite player, by the way. Yeah, where's the number 14? The way Brendan Shanahan used to wear. Shanahan's still my all-time favorite Red Wing. He just loves to score. He just loved to score goals for this team.
Yeah, and one of my absolute favorite all-time memories is when Shanny hit that cup clinching goal in 2002 against Carolina, that empty netter.
Oh man!
Wildest toss I've ever seen the show. That probably rivaled the night that they won it in '97, but it was so loud and so emotional, But yeah, that's where we're broaching off the subject here. But yeah, I agree.
That was my favorite moment too of all time. Yeah, and then the fourth failure to clinch a playoff series on home ice was indeed, as we mentioned, against the Tampa Bay Lightning just last night in Game 6, where the Lightning smashed the Red Wings 5-2 by jumping out to a 3-0 lead. But this is a worst case scenario where the defense just failed miserably to help Mrazek out.
Right, like Chris Benoit in the WWE history books, they're now apparently non-existent to Red Wings defense. it's embarrassing because you're leaving your goalie out, hanging out to dry. You know, Mrazek, as great as he's been, he can't always do it all by himself. He's going to need some support, i.e., his defense helping him out. And they have been doing that, and now they're in a position where one bad step, one bad skate, one bad deflection, you could be going home for the summer.
Yeah. Those deflected shots that go into the Detroit net, the defense has to block the shots. Don't just stand your ground and hope that it doesn't go in off you or somebody else. You got to block the hell out of that shot.
Jonathan Erickson.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan Erickson.
He's afraid. He's a scaredy cat. He's afraid to block shots in his own defensive zone. Terminate him. Get him out of here.
Inject him into the sun as soon as possible, please.
Yeah. Let the Buffalo Sabres pick him up or something like that. Or the Edmonton Oilers, for all I care.
Just I'll even take a draft ticket for money in return. Just get him out of here, please.
Yeah.
Especially with that contract if you own him.
Yeah. Brendan Smith also takes way too many penalties, and yet people say he's young and still learning. And forget that. Spare us the time.
Nyquist is young and still learning. Tatar is young and still learning, but they're providing. Okay,
There's a difference between good rookies like Nyquist and Tatar and bad rookies like Brendan Smith and the then rookie Jonathan Erickson. He's no longer young. Fans who say he's still young are just wrong. Period. And how about?
Well, all we can do now is just hope, please. Right. How about call upon your guys. Call for some action. Let us fly on it. Let them know. Listen, we can't accept this. Period. I'm not seeing that kind of urgency, from the majority of the Red Wings fan base, save for a certain select few. But it's discouraging. It's unacceptable, and it just can't be tolerated that much longer. I don't know what's going to have to be the culmination. Is that going to get fired? Is he going to leave? What? We have to reevaluate Ken Holland. What's going to be here? Because I can't keep going through long stretches without conflict. Otherwise, it's going to turn into another drought.
Babcock should be fired.
Please.
Yep. Yeah. How about the Nicholas Kronwall hit on Nikita Kucherov? He received a 1-game suspension a few hours ago for his elbow to Kucherov's face. Oh my! Kucherov almost lost a freaking jaw.
I mean, it was ugly. I've seen that replay a couple times.
Yet the referees did not call a penalty. What was up with that? That was a major, an elbowing major. Like,
I mean, they see the helmet come on. They see the guy sprawled on the ice. I mean, they had to replay on the jumbotron at least once or whatever. Somebody back in New York or Toronto should just let them know, hey, make sure to take a look at this. Just look at the refs. They had the power to do that.
It kind of reminds me of the Justin Abdelkader hit on Torrey Lidman of the Anaheim Ducks when the Wings battled the Ducks in that 7-game first round series in their last season in the Western Conference. Man,
that was a nasty hit. That was a nasty one too.
That looked identically nasty. Abdelkader's hit was to the head, and so was Kronwall's. Great. That's an identical comparison.
Yes, and with Kronwall, listen, we know, we even got a nickname for it, when he delivers a hard hit. But this is different. He's leaving his feet, and no matter how he tries to turn, his arm ended up hitting a guy square in the face. And knowing how all sports today, not just NFL or whatever, all sports today, they treat concussion and head injuries and head issues. That's something that's going to get taken examination. And of course, you saw that, and now he got the suspension. That's the right call. More than the right call. In this day and age, 2015, health and safety of the athletes should be one of, if not the top main priority.
Yeah, that's what the typical Homer Red Wing fans cannot stand. They also love more fights instead of just a clean hockey game. Think about that.
See, listen, I love the fights as more as anybody, but when you
Yeah, me too.
have too many of those, one's gonna take it's gonna right. Of course, who wouldn't? But you can't have too many because one is gonna take away from the game. It's gonna probably motivate the other team to try to kick your behind, and also in the long term, it's gonna leave damaging effects on your players and the guys who did it. I mean, look at for instance, Darren McMarty. But the guy, his voice. Oh
man. Yeah, he was such a fighter in the end. Well, yeah, I have to agree precisely with you on the fighting major. Game 7 preview. The Red Wings having to play without Nicholas Kronwall. They might as well use Jakob Kindl. Maybe call up Alexei Marchenko. They should probably bench Eriksson and just let Kindl and Marchenko.
This will make Jeff Moggs excited. How about you healthy scratch Eriksson and bring up McKinnon? That's a here's a nice spur for your late game replacement. Timo McKinnon to replace Jonathan Eriksson.
See, Polkinen is a forward, a left winger. Eriksson is a defenseman. They got to find replacements in the correct position.
Correct. And I haven't really studied much of the position, so that was a rib on me. So
yeah, but who do you think? But who do you think Timo Polkinen should replace? Give me the weakest link on offense.
Weakest link. There's been plenty. See, it's far too many to tell, and I'll admit. I'll be honest, I haven't studied much of the roster and the lineups to give you a definitive answer, so I apologize to you and to the viewers that might have been anticipating that. But
it's okay. Just take a wild guess. Even if it was the captain of the team. Even if it was the captain of the team.
I have to say it. Oh, God. Zetterberg, he's been an absolute ghost this series. At least Pavel scored a couple of times. I don't know.
Datsyuk's the man. Keep him on the ice. Tatar, keep him.
Right.
Nyquist, keep him. Let's see. Advocator, keep him.
Yes.
We have Riley Sheahan. He can score. Drew Miller got a goal in game 5. I was going to mention the defense had been blocking their shots in game 5 to bounce back from game 4. They should probably. The entire team should bounce back in Game 7 the same from Game 6 in Game 7 the same way that they bounce back in Game 5.
Well, they better. Easier said than done, but they better.
Prediction, real quick. Who do you think will win? Score.
Oh boy. You know me, I'm always going to, root for my teams, all day, every day till the day I die. But I hope I'm wrong with this. But I'd say Tampa Bay 4, Detroit 3. Mrazek is probably going to put up another stand on his head effort, but in the end, his defense is going to cost him one too many times. And it's going to lead to a late goal, and Tampa will win and move on. So there you go, Steve Eisman.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Lightning 3-2. Yeah, and I'm gonna think the same exact things. Let's jump to the Tigers real quick. We got 6 minutes left on the podcast. Tigers and Twins. Tigers win the first of the 3-game series 5-4, and then last night. Then they lose tonight 3-2. Anibal Sanchez chokes in the 7th inning, giving up the tying run and the winning run. Break this down just real quick before we get to the Kirk Gibson having Parkinson's disease.
Well, with Sanchez, he's been very inconsistent, especially coming off of last year. You don't know what you're going to get from him. I hate to say it because we've seen how good he can be.
So See, two of his first 3 games, he gave up 14 runs altogether. He gave up 5, and then he gave up 9. And then he bounced back.
And that causes ERA. Yeah, that causes ERA down to around 5. But
And he balked in the tying run in the 4th. He balked in the tying run in the 4th game of in his 4th start in the finale of the 4-game series at home against the Yankees, and then he gave up two RBI hits in Minnesota tonight to lose for himself, not only for his team but for himself. That is unbelievable.
That's very discouraging. It's very discouraging because going, in recent years, one of the biggest strengths of this Tigers team has been their starting rotation. Now, Fister's no longer there. Scherzer's no longer there. Verlander, we've yet to see him start a game yet. You're really going to be depending literally only on David Price to be your horse for about good 95% of your season, it looks like. And it's very troubling, especially if and when you make the playoffs, because you're going to need as much ready arms that can go and still deliver and perform adequate quality starts and try to take it out of the hands of your hard bullpen as much as possible, say for your closer.
Yeah, David Price pitched very good a very good game last night and got the win, 5-4. Joakim Soria has 8 for 8 in save opportunities. How about that guy?
Love it. Absolutely love it. The fact that I haven't even heard his name being brought up as an outcry, that's what the job of a closer should do. He's right. As you mentioned before, he's gone 8 for 8. I believe he's allowed only 1 walk, incredibly low whip. That's just what a closer should do. I think this is just part of the norm for majority of the other baseball teams. For Tigers and Tigers fans, this is something we've been starring for literally years. It wasn't Joe Nathan, it was Jose Valverde. It wasn't Valverde, it was Fernando Rodney. It wasn't Rodney, it was friggin' Todd Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Even Todd Jones before that. And again, so
Mike Henneman.
Things for now, we have some clarity on the closer situation, especially coupled now with the fact that Nathan's going to be out for the year.
Nathan should retire.
He's going to be your closer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Soria's a World Series closer.
He's 40, going to be 40.
Nathan is 40.
Something you don't try to push yourself to come back from. Just retire with your head high as possible, even though it was mature, convince the fans. But, just wrap it up. Call it a career. You've had a pretty good, productive career.
Exactly.
So, no shame in admitting that. When your body's breaking down, that's usually the time to tell you it's time to hang it up. And simple.
Part-time and current Tiger color commentator and former manager of the Diamondbacks, longtime Tiger Kirk Gibson, has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Very sad news today.
Yeah, very unfortunate, very troubling and sad. This is a disease that can be very destructive and dismantling for not just the brain, but for the whole entire body. As a fan, I'll probably use this as a segue. I'm a fan of boxing, hardcore boxing fan, but I know and seen up close what this disease can do to some people. Manny Pacquiao is going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather, biggest fight of the century. His trainer, Freddie Roach, has been battling Parkinson's for over 20 years.
90 seconds.
If you can compare videos of Roach from 2008, 2009 to now, you can tell that its effect is taking its toll on him. Most famous case probably in the history of boxing for Parkinson's, Muhammad Ali. You've seen what that's done to him. Mm-hmm. This is a disease, that's not something to screw around here. So, and I feel bad for Gibby.
Yeah, me too. Everybody does.
Yeah, this is not something we none of us expected. But with health and support of his family, Tiger's family, not just his family, but the Tiger Nation, and doctors and whatnot. So we hope, we wish him the best as he tries to treat this.
That we do. Hey Ed, it's been great. It's been great having you as a co-host. 40 seconds left. We're going to wrap it up. Fans on Twitter. Follow Ed Smith 313 on Twitter. Follow Jeff Moss DSR on Twitter. Follow me at DT2 Phillips. That's been it for Taylor's Detroit Sports Postgame. Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor, and go Pacquiao.
Absolutely. Go Pacquiao. I'll be back again tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.